Hi everyone, Garry the Catholic rugby fan. In this video, I will introduce to you my number 4 lock forward of my All Saints fantasy rugby team called the Great Clouds of Witnesses. The rock of the pack of forwards, St. Peter. St. Peter was present when Jesus asked 2 questions in the Gospels. Jesus was walking with the disciples and he turned to them and he said, "Who do the crowd say I am?" And the apostles answered, "Some say Jeremiah, some say Elijah, some say John the Baptist or one of the prophets." Then Jesus asks the most important question he'll ask any one of us. "But who do you say I am?" And Peter says, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus says to Peter, "Simon, son of Jonah, no flesh or blood or man on earth has revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven." And Jesus blesses Peter, because Peter has just received a revelation from God. And Jesus says, "You are Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and no one will destroy it. I give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you do on earth, I will support you in heaven." And in John 6, Jesus is preaching to the disciples, and Jesus says, "Unless you eat my body and drink my blood, you have no life in you. Whoever eats my body and drinks my blood has eternal life, and I will raise him up on the last day." Many of his disciples said, "This is a hard saying. Who can believe it?" And many walked away. And Jesus, he never called them back, because he knew it was faith. And then Jesus turns to Peter and to you and to me, and he asks the saddest question in the gospel: "Will you also go away?" And Peter answers, "Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the word of eternal life." And this shows Peter's faith. And I always wondered why Jesus chose Peter with all his faults and mistakes. Because Jesus knew what was in his heart. And the story of Peter shows that discipleship is a matter of the heart. St. Peter, our first Pope. And the childhood era he reminds me of comes from the land of St. Patrick, Ireland. The great Willie John McBride. Willie John McBride played 63 test matches for Ireland and 17 test matches for the British Lions. He went on 5 British Lions tours, and he shares the record with Mark Gibson, also from Ireland. Willie John was leader of the pack when John Dawes' 71 Lions won their first series against the All Blacks. And after that series, the great Colin Meads walked into the British Lions dressing rooms and handed Willie John his All Black rugby jersey. But the 13th of July 1974 will be a day Willie John will never forget. It was the day he led the British Lions to their first ever series win against the Springboks in Port Elizabeth, which was my first test match. And after the victory, he made the test side walk over to the Dirt Trackers, the second team, sitting in the stands. And he applauded them because it was the Dirt Trackers that kept their unbeaten record on that tour. Against Orange Free State, a forward from Ireland, Stuart McKinney, kicked a penalty goal which kept their unbeaten record intact. They won 11-9. And the great Andy Ripley, the number 8 of the Dirt Trackers, said, "Why did we love Willie John McBride so much? Because he loved all 30 of us. He made us feel special." The great Willie John McBride, my number 4 lock forward. And there's just something I'd like to share with you guys before I sign off, to do with the Eucharist. Catholics believe that the Eucharist at the Last Supper is Jesus Christ. And that exact same sacrifice through time and space is represented at every Mass throughout the world. It is the same ongoing sacrifice which can never be repeated because it never ends. So guys, that's my number 4, St. Peter and Willie John McBride. And in my next video, I will introduce to you my number 5 lock. And these two saints, you just cannot separate. It's like trying to separate Willie John McBride and Gordon Brown, Colin and Stan Meads, Benoit Doga and Walter Spanghera, Bakkies Botha and Victor Matfield. So guys, until my next video, I won't say goodbye, but I'll see you all in the Eucharist. Blessings from the Catholic Rugby fan.